Not the TV guide.
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 Welcome to part 2 of Not the TV Guide episode. I've lost count.
Oh, is that some new Roman numerals? Is it, Grant? I've lost count. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Technical term.
technically, yeah. Oh God, people think about it. Really, it's a weird podcast. It's like if you did straight numbers, we might have a chance. But because each episode, supernatural special, for example, Amanda.
Yeah. We don't talk about that.
we lose. I lose count. Honest to goodness of it. Now, before we start today, we've got a Jensen watch. First of all, we need to educate Beth with, don't we, Amanda?
I don't know.
Yeah, we've just started. We're watching the second season of a program Beth called Tracker,
Okay.
and Jensen's been in 2 episodes so far, and this he has, and it's based about not a bounty hunter, a person as a tracker. He finds people and they go missing. And he's been playing the older brother, the main character, twice now, and he's due back in again shortly. So that's the latest of the Jensen watches for Beth, right? Because we know.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah, well, Amanda keeps every time we watch it, and her granddad, I tell you, she's like, he keeps saying to me, "Is Jensen in it this week? Is Jensen in it this week?"
I know, it's very sad.
That's what she's like. But as well as that, I've got no more Jensen Ackles watch news for you because he's got another series out on Prime shortly, hasn't he? I forgot the name of it. And plus, he's doing all his boys stuff. So anyway, let's move on. Okay, now we've got the next problem we've got is nothing to do with Jensen Ackles, unfortunately, and it's one Amanda's watched solo this month. And Amanda, how do you get away with murder? You wrote a book about this, haven't you? Or several books about this now.
I haven't written a book about how to get away with murder.
What is
But
how to get away with murder?
This is seasons 1 and 2 that I've watched so far because there's 5 seasons and it aired between 2014 and 2020. And season 1 starts off with a lawyer called Annalise, who's also teaching law at university, and she picked 5 of her students to work with her. And she's got a husband who's cheating on her with a college student who gets pregnant. The college student gets found dead, and the husband's under suspicion. And then the students end up killing the husband. To the suspects as well. And she ends up, the lawyer and the Annalise ends up defending some of them as a client. And then with season 2, I was wondering, like, is this going to go on like this storyline for like all 5 seasons, or is it going to be something else? And it just kind of escalates, and like more people get killed. And by this time, I think there's only one character that's a sympathetic character that hasn't killed anyone yet.
Now, wasn't there somebody in season 2 and actually you really like or something, Amanda? Or am I imagining the things?
There's a few supernatural people that have come into this, and the few supernatural people that have come into Ghost Whisperer. I think with this, it was the actress that played Amara came into, I think, 1 or 2 episodes.
Beth, then, that being the case, is there anything you would like to ask Amanda about this series?
Sorry, you cut out for a second there.
All right, apologies. Yeah, I think the line's dropping here. Beth, is there anything you would like to ask Amanda about this series?
What would you say? So how do you get away with murder? What would you say? Do they go into any detail on, like, techniques you can use to?
You just need to be working for a lawyer who knows how to twist everything.
But I was hoping they might go into, like, some of the like drugs and things that you can use to, like, that are untraceable or whatever, or like acid you can dissolve a body in, or God knows.
Oh, that sounds fun. That's all I'm going to say there. So, right, Grant, is there anything you would like to ask Amanda about this series?
When does Jensen turn up?
I'm still waiting for. It's been in everything else.
Well, Angel, I know Angel crops up in this. He does. You get the unexpected.
Oh,
Buffy
that makes sense. Why you watching it?
Vampire Slayer
Yeah.
crossover.
I wish.
Right, obviously, series Amanda. Then, what are the strengths of this series for yourself? Then,
Season 1 was a bit slow to get going. I would have give up, but I just sort of stuck with it. And then it was about like maybe the eighth or ninth episode before it actually started getting really good. And if I'd given up on it by episode 5 or 6, I would have got to that. So I think it's something you've got to stick with.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you completely. Sometimes series like we've talked about before with the Brutalist, for example. Sometimes you need to give things time to build. Yeah, I get you completely with it. And also, anything you didn't really like about seasons 1 and 2?
I didn't like the lawyer and Lisa at first, but especially the second season, it sort of goes into a bit more of a background, and you start to understand why she's the way she is.
Yeah, I get you. So, is it obviously like I said for second season? Does it really tend to really start? You said it's escalated, doesn't it? So,
Yeah, and it just keeps leading to more people killing other people, and they just seem to get deeper and deeper into it.
there's three. Like people know there's 5 seasons of it. Now, obviously,
Yeah.
by the end of it, then, is everyone walking around with machine guns, killing off half a city and stuff? Like Rambo
I don't know.
territory.
I'll have to
Yeah.
let you know.
No, no, fair enough. Is there anything else you want to say about the series, Amanda? Seriously.
Just the other thing is because like everybody's killed, well, nearly everybody's killed at least one person by now. There's nobody you can really sort of cling on to the hate because they're all sort of on a level playing field. So
Yeah.
then you just sort of like them all.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Does Reacher show up?
No, but that would be good.
He always gets away with murder, doesn't he? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the point. Yeah,
It just flutters his eyelashes.
Yeah.
like that, right? Brilliant. No, brilliant. Okay, Amanda, is there anything else you wish to add then before you give us a
No, I
mark?
think that's it.
Okay. What are you going to give us out of 10 then for people that are interested?
I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Is that each season 1 and season 2 combined then, is it?
Just the overall score for both
Scott?
seasons.
Yeah, it's fine. So it's fine. So that sounds good to me. So it's Beth and Grant. I have to ask you both. Could you see yourself you watching this series?
No.
Is it too scary?
Yeah, it sounds a bit scary to me. I've not come to terms with Beth's recommendation of Uncanny because I made the mistake of watching that and that scared me for life.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
That's called Friends, right? And Beth, could you see yourself watching a series potentially in the future?
I mean, I'll give anything a go. I don't know if it would necessarily be my cup of tea because like the fact that they're all kind of like implicated in some way and they're all kind of like guilty and sort of hiding something kind of reminds me a little bit too much of like I've watched like Pretty Little Liars and that kind of thing just drives me mad when everyone's kind of being really stupid and trying to hide things instead of go to the police and you're just kind of like you just kind of want to scream at them because they're making like loads of bad decisions. I mean, I don't know if it will be like that, but I'm kind of it sounds like it might be a bit dark for me. I don't know.
Amanda, how do you want to respond to that then before we move on?
Yeah, I suppose it is pretty dark. Yeah.
Well, that's you, Amanda, isn't it, really? When in doubt, go for the dark option. That's Amanda for you. So, which is quite ironic, actually, because the next program we're going to talk about is, well, it's the most silliest program I've seen in ages. And there is a story behind this, well, isn't there? Grant, right?
Yes, there is. It's a lovely story behind it.
Yes, well,
I recommended it to you.
Yes, you did. Amanda and me got a recommendation at the last Speakeasy on that our spoken word night in Cholton 2 weeks ago by Grant. And Grant, for our viewers, you want to tell everybody what you told me and Amanda?
Well, I said, yeah, you should watch Last One Laughing on Amazon Prime. So, it's only a short series, 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And you were like, okay. And then the next time I saw you, you'd watched it all. And I said, oh, yeah, I've not started watching it yet. I've just seen clips on Instagram and it's been really funny. And then you were like, you had to watch it, and then you recommended it to our friend Ruth, and then she'd already watched it as well before me.
Yeah. And tell me, Beth, is this sort of weird logic here, isn't it? Grant's gone, you must watch it, you must watch it. Doesn't meant to tell us he's not watched the program. So, now obviously then, for people that are interested what a Last One Laughing is, this is as a comedy program on Prime. It's 6 episodes, around about half an hour each, and it's where Jimmy Carr challenges 10 of Britain's funniest comics to spend the day together without cracking up so much as a smile. And the 10 comics use each and every ounce of their comical talents to try and break their opponents out, cracking up themselves. Amanda, I'm going to go straight to you this. I know you've watched the full thing, Amanda.
Yeah, I was with you.
Grant, that's all I'm going to say. Now, what do you think of this, Amanda, seriously?
Yeah, I liked it. I knew some of them, like Rob Beckett, because I used to listen to Absolute Radio and he was on there. And then Joe Wilkinson's we've seen on some of the panel shows that we've watched. And then some of the women look familiar, but I've forgotten the names. And then obviously I know Bob Mortimer and I know Richard from the IT crowd. So
Yeah, no, that's what I was like. I knew Richard from the IT crowd. I knew Bob Mortimer. I heard of Rob Beckett and I heard of Sarah Pascoe, but the rest I didn't really know, truth be told of you. But now, before Grant, what have you watched of this series? Have you watched any of it apart from the trailers?
No, I've watched the first 2 episodes. I watched them yesterday, and I've watched clips from like later on in the series. I've seen one of the guest stars that turns up.
Yeah, we're going to mention it. Spoilers.
We mentioned it, yeah.
Spoilers.
They kind of hint at it. Even after you watch the first episode, he's in the trailer for the series, and so you see it, yeah. When Danny Dyer shows up and he's playing Harry Potter.
Unbelievable. Beth, take it from me, Beth. I'm going to tell you what episode number 4. It was incredible, right? Absolutely incredible.
What cracks me up is when he's like getting really close to him and he's like, I'm going to bite your nose.
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually thought Rob Beckett was going to punch him. I really did that. He was getting that wound up, he was. And he's saying in the things behind the scenes, he said if he didn't punch him, he was going to crack up laughing. It was one or the other.
Yeah.
It was like that. And I've never really been a Danny Dyer fan. But after seeing him in Rivals and now this, I can understand why so many women really like him at the moment. They do.
Yeah.
And you can see why. There's something about him. He's got real charisma. Amanda, what do you think on today? Am I right with it? He's got charisma, hasn't he? Something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fancy him, but I like this character in Rivals because he was probably one of the nicer men in there.
He was, wasn't he? Yeah.
Because the only nice man in Rivals, to be told.
They were all scoundrels, weren't they?
Yeah. Did you ever watch Rivals last year, Beth? Did you?
No, I've had a lot of people recommend it. I think I've seen some clips, so I might give it a go. But
yeah, when season 2 comes out,
I think you'll really enjoy it, Beth. Yeah, it's really
when
fun.
season 2 comes out, binge it.
Yeah.
Get rid of your housemates, who I'm not going to name for embarrassing the poor girl. The pair of you go and get a bottle of wine together, and you can have a right cackle at the first 3 episodes. When the following night, do this episodes 4, 5, and 6. It's worth it because. When we watched Rivals originally, Amanda, what were you going to do originally with Rivals?
I thought I was going to have to drink for every single episode because it was so bad. But after the first one, I just wanted sober. It was actually quite
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I said, right, now, listen, that's the story of another day. That when season 2 comes out, and I reckon they're going to be shooting that pretty quickly, truth be told of you. So,
yeah.
On Laugh Out, last one laughing. My other favourite bit was, and I'm not going to say who this involved, it involved the last 2 people right at the end of it. And Amanda, I said this to you pretty close to the beginning, didn't I? Who the final 2 were going to be, and I got it spot on.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you who was going to win it.
And I looked into this as well because our friend Ruth told us that she fancies Richard now. And I looked into it, and if she's listening, I'm sorry to break the bad news, but it's actually married to Bloody Fox.
Oh, yeah, he is, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're gonna break Ruth's heart there now with that. But yeah, scenes. I don't want to give too much away. The scenes on the last 2, and they were doing all these weird faces at each other, and it was I was sat there, and we could not keep a straight face, Amanda, could we?
I'd be terrible at this.
Yeah, I would be. They said at the beginning, Sarah Pascoe got eliminated pretty quickly, and I read a review saying the way Sarah Pascoe goes in the comedy circuit, she clearly wasn't going to last long. And I think she was the second one out, actually, she was. So it was like,
There were a
Yeah.
few that got themselves out as well, weren't they? They were trying so hard to make everyone else laugh, and then they just cracked up themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes over those it's stupid things as well. I think it was
But sometimes
Joan.
you just laugh because of nervous tension. Sometimes, when you're in
Yeah.
a group situation, and they're all trying to be quiet, and it's all against their natural instinct, isn't it, to be silly all the time and crack people up and wind people up and stuff like that. But yeah, but what makes it funny as well, just watching their faces, trying this because they're kind of gurning, aren't they? Trying not to fall, because you can't. You basically in Beth, you get a card if you yellow card if you laugh, or even smile, don't you? You're not allowed to smile, are you? So, and then you get a red if you do it again. Yeah, then you get sent off. So it's kind of like they're in a Big Brother style house. They've got 6 hours to do it, all the tasks.
Oh, we said that, Amanda, didn't we? You said that to me in the first episode. I remember Amanda saying that to me. Yeah.
Sorry, but the thing is, they do stuff they do a turn occasionally, they do they call it play their Joker, and they'll do something they'll go on stage and do a 5-minute set or something. But yeah, it's just great watching them all just not trying to crack up, because the Joe Wilkinson one about was it the Royal Lifeguard Service, that was really funny.
You've not seen the Bob Morton one was my favourite.
Oh, the magic one. That was great.
I wonder if you've seen that. Magic's like that.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah. Because even the way he was delivering it was just so silly, and I was surprised no one went after that one, because I was you could tell Rich Iodi was just dying, wasn't he? You could tell really, because they do say it's just torture watching something like that, when you can't let it escape out of it. It's a really good concept. I think it's really good, but apparently there's loads of the international ones. There's an Irish one and stuff like that.
A German one.
Yeah,
might be an Australian one and one in Asia. They're all over the world. It's a massive concept. So
it's the first time it's been in the UK. Yeah.
Well, if you enjoyed this, and I think it sounds really good, I think I'm going to give it a watch. If you enjoyed this, I highly recommend. If you've never seen Taskmaster, I recommend giving that a go, because it sounds sort of vaguely similar. It's basically they've got a certain amount of time to complete a task, and it's just really stupid tasks, create the best distraction to engage this toddler or whatever, and they just have a random toddler that they've got to entertain, and they've got a certain number of materials to do it with or whatever, and they just have really stupid tasks like that, or throw this egg without breaking it or whatever, and it's and they're competing to see who can do the best on each task, and they get comedians to come and do it, and it sounds vaguely similar, because they kind of it's I reckon if you enjoyed this, you'd probably really enjoy that. It's on Channel 4.
Noted. Okay. Amanda, do you agree?
Yeah,
Noted,
but I've watched a few Taskmasters. Yeah, I do enjoy it, Beth, as well. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Actually, they are quite similar. So I think you'll enjoy this as well. Yeah.
Noted. I definitely just sounds really good fun. This was one of those ones, Beth. It's happened. You do podcasts like this, everybody. You find is you can sometimes a program you don't know. You think it's a load of crap. This. It happened rivals of us by chance, but then we got Grant obviously first walked back into Reach and now you as well. And we weren't expecting much from it. Sometimes it can be TV, you can get really, really surprised on it.
Yeah.
Amanda, have you ever had programs like that where you've really got quite surprised on it?
I think there will be, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Madam Web?
I was surprised by how much it was.
You enjoyed that?
Have you ever watched Madam Web, Beth?
No, I haven't.
Amanda, give your 1-word description or 2-word description of Madam Web to Beth.
3 words, don't do it.
That's horrible.
Fair enough. Don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah, exactly. So now,
please do it.
Now, Grant, obviously,
I'm kind of intrigued now.
Oh,
yeah, you'll love it, honestly.
Amanda got so drunk she doesn't even remember the second half of the film. That's so fascinating her. But Grant, obviously, back to last one laughing. On the 2 episodes you've seen, was there any real scenes that stuck in your head from it?
For the ones I saw, basically, I loved pretty much everything Richard already said. Just cracked me up every time. Jim, when you trying to get running out the door all the time, that really made me laugh.
Oh, yeah, brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's so deadpan. It's
It's a deadpan, isn't
scary.
he?
Yeah, he's just absolutely it's shocking how deadpan he is. And yeah, he stole the show. Him and I'm not gonna lie, him and Bob Mortimer stole the show for me. Every
Mm.
time one of them is
Yeah, they're brilliant.
going
Yeah.
on it, you can see that. And nothing against the other comics, but they're all funny. They seem to take it above another level every time. They do the subtleties all the time.
Yeah,
I'd pay to see them if they went on tour together.
I think I
Yes.
would as well. I think I would as well. But
Yeah.
oh, good
Yeah.
God! I know. Has anyone else got anything else to wish to say about this program?
No.
No, I'm looking forward to finishing it.
Yeah. Oh, you enjoy it.
Now started it.
Yeah, you enjoy it because the good thing is they're all short episodes. And
Yeah,
that's why I
that's the
think.
thing.
The good thing was Beth and Ruth actually binged it. She binged it in one sitting, Amanda, didn't she? Or something? Well, am I right with that?
I don't know. She watched it fairly quickly, I think.
Yeah, shit,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's easy to watch because they're quite short episodes. So I think you'd enjoy it, and I know Grant will like the Danny Dyer cameo. We see episode 4,
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about it properly.
and the last episode of the final 2 are unbelievable. The final 2 was right. Anyway, Amanda, what are you giving this out of 10?
Hey,
Grant, what based on what you've seen so far, could you mark this out of
I'll
10?
give it 8. Yeah, it's 8 out of 10 for the first two.
Yeah, let's do 8 as well. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
look.
very funny, very funny.
Yeah, it was nice to watch something very light. It wasn't good fun.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. I've not marked this last one actually. Just realised as well. Right, we're going to now go on to a program that Best has watched, and I don't think we've reviewed this one on Not the TV Guys. Me and Amanda watched this back end of last year. I do remember watching this. Superman and Lois season 4, which came out on the CW network, and it was the last one, obviously, the old DC things. Obviously, we got rebooted, and it premiered on October the 7th last year and concluded on the 2nd of December. Now, Beth, first of all, I have to ask you: had you watched the other 3 seasons before this?
Yes, I've binged the whole thing, and I've really loved it. I think it's so nice. Like I've never really seen like a superhero show that does that before, where it's basically kind of for anyone who doesn't know, it's basically just kind of showing Superman and Lois kind of later in life as a happily married couple. And they've got 2 teenage sons, and it's basically just kind of them navigating life, Superman navigating life, kind of juggling his responsibilities as a superhero and a father, and there's the odd villain that crops up as usual. So it's really good. I've been really enjoying it.
I've had to be honest, I found it as a funny one, the 4 seasons of this. I loved the first season. And the second one irritated me a little bit with some of the teenage actors in it. But I think the third one, are you the same man with that, really? Did you find bits of it jarred in places for you a little bit? Or was that just me being miserable?
not as much as you. I think the main thing that put me off was she was whinging when I was trying to watch it.
Yeah, probably that was so outright. But I've got to be honest, I did like the 4th series, actually. Really did. Now, I'll ask you this, Beth, because Amanda's got one point she wants to raise here, and we'll ask her in a minute on this. How did you feel about the fact they killed Superman off at the start of season 4?
No.
I didn't mind it. Like it, I suppose it felt a bit forced in some ways because, like, it's obvious that he's not really gonna die. It's obvious that he's gonna be fine. Because they're not really gonna kill him off. So it's a bit of a. You could argue that it's a bit of a lazy move in terms of the writing, but I actually quite enjoyed what they did with it because it obviously led to basically his decision to reveal to the world that he is Superman and or that he is Clark Kent, and kind of reveal his secret identity, and because he kind of decides that it's no longer fair on people, and people start to suspect that he's like one and the same person, and so he makes the decision to kind of finally blow his cover after all of these years and kind of announce to the world who he really is. And I actually quite liked that. I thought they did it quite well, and sort of the idea of like all of the news crew being sort of really like finding it really bizarre to kind of be like in Superman's house and everything. And I quite liked the way they sort of humanized that. Like, you know, he's been this celebrity for many years, and now they've realized that like he's just an ordinary person that they've been working with. And so I did quite like that aspect of it.
Yeah, I remember it well, that, John. So do you remember that bit, Amanda, when they almost like they outed him, didn't they, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it made a lot of sense to me, that. Now, obviously, with Superman, obviously, and this was the big surprise I had with the fourth season. And I'm glad they did it, because the first, 3 and a bit seasons, there was no mention of Lex Luthor. I thought that was fascinating, the fact they didn't mention Lex Luthor at all, really. But then, like, I think they did it consciously because of he was dominated in Smallville a lot, Amanda, didn't he, Lex Luthor? And Amanda's obviously, I don't know if you ever watched, have you ever watched
I can't
Smallville,
remember
Beth?
if he left it at a point.
No, Smallville is actually, I've decided it's one of the things that I'm going to watch next, because it's on Amazon, and I've been wanting to watch it for a while, and I think it will be quite a nice perspective, you know, watching like older Superman who's like happily married with kids, and then sort of going back to like younger Superman while he was growing up. So I feel like it's going to be a nice contrast.
Amanda's the expert in Smallville. Amanda, how did Lex Luthor compare from Smallville to?
Yeah, in Smallville, he was a bit sort of weedy, and I probably could have taken him, but in Superman and Lois, he was a lot beefier and scary. I don't think I would have crossed him.
Yeah, no, that's the point. He was, and his character was intimidating. But I think I like the fact where he was like he was flawed. Is this Lex Luthor was, the Superman and Lois, and it was. I like the fact he had a really quite complicated relationship with his daughter as well. So, what did you think, Beth, about that then?
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about like other portrayals of Lex Luthor, like I mean, I loved the original portrayal of him in the. I mean, my history with Superman is that I originally was really into the original films with Christopher Reeve.
Oh,
I
not
watched, like
actually the second films they did with George Reeves in the 60s. But yeah, I grew up then, the Clark Kent one, then Christopher Reeve ones, yeah.
So I was obsessed with those when I was growing up. I really enjoyed those films, and I love the portrayal of Lex Luthor in those. I've forgotten who the actor was that plays him.
Gene Hackman.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, he's
genius.
Genius.
He's so good. I think he just plays him so well. So I think all of the adaptations that I've seen of Lex Luthor since then, you know, in various different places. I mean, there's not been that many, but they've never sort of quite compared for me. So I wasn't. I mean, I thought it was fine. I thought he was fine, but it wasn't. I wasn't kind of like overly, you know, impressed or anything. But I wasn't disappointed either. I was fairly kind of neutral, to be honest. I think Lex Luthor is a character that you can kind of try and put your own stamp on a little bit. It's quite an interesting villain. So it's not. I don't think it's really like, you know, the Joker or a really sort of iconic villain like that, where you kind of know what to expect in a way when you're watching a version of the Joker, even though they're all a little bit different. There's certain things that you're expecting from that, whereas I feel like with Lex Luthor there's a little bit more room for, you know, putting your own stamp on it and stuff. There's not necessarily a sort of standard blueprint. So it's, or you know, obviously other than the fact that he's a kind of a sort of wealthy, you know, landowner, billionaire, tycoon kind of thing. So it's like, I think it's fair enough if whatever you do with it, really.
Yeah, it's up to interpretation like Superman, really. I think you're right with it completely. So I've got to say, I really liked the ending, actually, I did. I really liked the ending where, I didn't like what they did at Doomsday, I have to be honest with you. And I thought Amanda cop for it when that happened, Beth. And I was moaning, saying, you can't have to give him sort of redemption like that. So I was whinging for that. Was it whinging about that bit, Amanda?
Yeah.
See? She agrees. But then, like, but I did like the end of it where the actual obviously Luther, the story got resolved. Then you saw the way they died together at the end of it. They aged them both, didn't they? And he went to the afterlife, and I thought it's a really nice, touching, quite touching conclusion that was actually.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's one of those like Superman and Lois is one of those kind of timeless relationships. It's a bit like kind of, you know, Holmes and Watson, or, you know, because they're not, I think what people tend to forget that, you know, they're not just kind of like a couple. Lois isn't just the love interest. They are very much a working team. And I think that's what really appeals to me about them as characters. You know, they've always been more of a, even though they do love each other and they are also a romantic couple, their relationship very much started out as like they work well together. You know, they're a team. They're both journalists. They're both, you know, good investigators, and they complement each other and they work as a team. And they're both kind of, they need each other to kind of balance each other out. And I really like that dynamic. And it's almost like whatever universe you're in, it's always going to be Superman and Lois kind of thing. I quite like that.
No, it's the point. It's the point because it's strong. When they do Lois right, she's a strong female character, and it's well done. Well, I wouldn't know the Terry Hatchett attempt on it. That's all I'm going to say there. That, but I think did you watch Dean Cain and Terry Hatchett do it, Amanda? Superman, the previous Superman series.
Not all of it, but I did watch some of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I've also been meaning to watch that.
I was a big fan.
Oh, listen, you were a big fan of Terry Hatchett, mate, not the series.
Yeah, I was. I know. Yeah, my mum loved Dean Cain. You see, so we watched it together.
Oh, well, I'll say to you, if you watched Terry Hatchett, I'm surprised you weren't mad on Desperate Housewives as well, Grant.
I did. I loved it. Brilliant.
Oh, I loved about the first half of that, and it went a bit stupid after that. It did so. Halfway through.
Yeah, I stopped watching it, but it was great though. Yeah,
proper guilty pleasure. But anyway, listen. Anyway, let's mark Superman, then we'll wrap up today. Amanda, can you remember this Superman and Lois film series 4 to market, or do you want to just say take the Fourth Amendment?
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it because I don't remember it clearly enough to give it a mark.
I remember it being like, yeah, I enjoyed it. It's the best one since the first meet. I give it an 8.
Yeah, I'd probably give it an 8 as well, to be honest. I don't think it was my favourite out of the series. I think the storyline that I actually enjoyed the most, funnily enough, was in series 3 when they gave Lois cancer. Because even though it was quite sort of a morbid like storyline in some ways, I actually really liked the fact that it was kind of quite humanizing, because it kind of showed how I thought it was a very clever choice of storyline, because it was kind of showing how this is the one thing that he can't save her from. This is the one thing that he can't fight, you know, in the traditional sense. And so I thought that was quite an interesting storyline. So yeah, I think that was probably my favorite series, just because of that. So I don't think I enjoyed series 4 as much as the rest of them, but it was nice to see Lex Luthor and kind of have a nice bow tied on it. So yeah, I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair play. So fair play. So right, people. Well, that's it for today's episode. Anyway, now obviously before we wrap up, we always like to ask, what is everybody planning to watch next? There's several things coming out at the minute, and I know of, and don't know if one of these is going to scare Grant. Which one do you...
coming back?
She's just signed up for another series, Sarah Michelle Gellar has. There's nothing Buffy related.
Oh, right, okay.
So I presume it's been delayed, unfortunately, Grant. No. Grant, did you ever watch Last of Us season 1?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, loved it. Yeah. So
yeah, season 2.
It's just come back tonight. It's just come.
Yeah, it's back tonight. Yeah, it's back tonight.
Yeah.
So, did you watch season 1 of that, Beth? Last of Us.
So weirdly enough, I haven't, but I might as well have watched it because I've watched so many reaction videos to it. I've basically
have you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've watched. I don't know why, but for some reason, I just found myself like when it first came out, rather than actually watching it, I found myself just watching loads of people reacting to it, like each
Oh
episode.
yeah.
So I feel like I
Mhm.
actually know exactly what happens. I feel like
Yeah.
I've basically watched it. So I think I might watch series 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was an episode in series 1 that made me cry my eyes out there.
Was that
Yeah,
one
You know
about
which
series
one?
three,
Episode 3.
one of the
yeah? Was
child.
it the
Yeah, about
third? Was that
the couple.
the couple? Was that the
Yeah.
third episode? That one was it? It was
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was just so
incredible.
heartbreaking. Yeah, it was just so
Do
hard,
you,
so
do you remember that one,
beautifully done.
Amanda?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
remember that one,
yeah,
Amanda? It was all. It
Yeah.
was just. It was harrowing because I get
Yeah.
the really. I think that's till that stage. I was telling Amanda at the time. I thought I'm worried this is going to be a Walking Dead pasture, but it went way beyond Walking Dead. That episode did.
Oh, it did. Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
did.
that's out, and Black Mirror season 7's out, and you might want to watch that one, Beth, because there's a Star Trek spoof in it.
Yes, yeah, no, I've been meaning to watch that. I'm not usually a fan of Black Mirror because I find it freaks me out a little bit. Even though
Oh yeah,
I
it is.
can see how good it is, and I've watched the odd episode, but normally I avoid it because it just freaks me out a little bit. But I might give series 7 a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had it on the Infamous episode. Man, do you remember that episode they did on, was it Bandersnatch, when you choose your own adventure one?
oh God, yeah.
That was it. They've took that down now. They have, and it's like it's a shame,
Okay,
really.
how come?
Yeah, they've because they said they thought it's outdated now. But it was like if you never
Oh,
could watch that, Beth. It was like it starts you off saying, "Will you eat your cornflakes with your left or right hand?" And then later on, it goes about, "Will you shoot your father in the head with a shotgun?"
I remember making all the nice choices at first, and it never seemed to end. And then it was just like maybe we have
yeah.
to make the nasty choices to get out of
Yeah.
this. I was making all the worst choices,
Oh,
and in the end, I just wanted everyone to die.
it's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, it's crazy that says was. Yeah, we're also going to be watching. Well, we'll see how it goes. Me and Amanda are halfway through The Bondsman at the moment to Kevin Bacon, which is probably a bit scary for Grant.
is it?
That's all I'm
Is
going
it
to say.
Shadow Man?
No, it's basically where he plays a bondsman who's tracking down criminals, gets killed by them, and gets sent back to Earth by the devil to go and round up some demons.
Oh, it sounds evil.
Yeah, that's one word for it.
He has to send them back basically by killing the vessel that they're in. So he's
Oh,
technically
okay.
killing
The
people, but
bomb.
then the demon gets sent back as well.
Yeah, so that's coming up.
Mm.
God, we've also got Daredevil due this week. We'll talk about that next month. And has anyone else got anything else they're watching at the moment, or will be watching?
I'm going to finish the White Lotus. Actually, I've just started that. That's been.
What's that?
Oh, I love
How many seasons?
Series 3.
Series
Series
3 now.
3.
Yeah, yeah. Have you got anything
Yeah.
else? Anything else you're going to watch, Beth?
No, I'm pretty much watching most of the same things as you. I'm gonna give Bondsman a go. I'm gonna give Daredevil a go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give probably Last One Laughing a go. I've got plenty to be getting on with, so
Yeah, I think you have there. I know film-wise, Thunderbolts is out, the latest Marvel film. That's out next week or 2 weeks' time, isn't it? And there's so much stuff coming out, people. It's crazy in a minute. We can't keep up. So, but I said to you, we're going to be on with Ruth O'Reilly on Sunday, the 5th of June, 15th of June, and we will endeavour to do another episode before that. And we can't promise Grant won't be swearing on the radio as Doctor Who improves.
I'm worried it won't.
So we better give Ruth warning there. Give her the 5-second warning. She was beep, beep. And then I Grant's mouth up. Beep. But yeah, seriously, guys. Listen, thank you again, Beth, today. Beth,
oh, no worries.
thank you again, Grant. And if Amanda's still
Pleasure,
speaking
as
to me,
always.
thank you again, Amanda. Right. So, right, Amanda, take it out for us tonight, as you always do.
Yeah, sleep tight, everyone. Don't let the demons get you.
Well, just go and watch Bondsman. The demons will get you, right? See you all soon, guys. Take care. Good night, all.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Not the TV guide.
Not the TV guide.
Not the TV guide.